I got to tell you guys, watching Victor Wembanyama, I think he has already exceeded some expectations. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
But I think you're looking at OKC. How are you not looking at them as a very serious contender in the West? Their athleticism, you look at Chet Holmgren, dude, he looks ready to blow people up. I think he is going to have a massive season. And he's going to be that guy that's going to win Rookie of the Year in year 2. He's going to be that guy that if they go deep into the Western Conference, he's that guy that has the potential to be a dark horse MVP candidate. He's that good. And everybody will talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is their best player. I'm telling you now, if Chet is going to be the guy we saw this week, Jake, I think there's no doubt he can be an MVP candidate.
Yeah, and I think that, Chet has, big-time efficiency. And I think that's the thing that if you're an OKC fan, you should be really excited about. This is a team that, obviously is right in that playoff picture last year, competing, doing everything that they can do. But they didn't have Chet. And I think Chet is somebody who obviously breaks a game open, can single-handedly, stretch a lead to 10 points in a matter of a minute. Like, this is somebody who can make a big difference. And I think that the biggest difference watching most of this Spurs OKC game, the biggest difference I saw between Chet and Victor is just Chet is smaller, obviously. But when we talk about him being smaller, he's still big for his athleticism. And I think the fact that he's just a little bit smaller than VW allows him to play the game in more ways. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Victor Wembanyama. I like the reports that he's put on some weight. I don't see a huge gain in weight, honestly. Like, yeah, sure, maybe put on a few pounds. He largely looks like the same guy to me, though, physically. And I think the thing I really liked about his game is he was getting after it. I didn't see any hesitation. I didn't see any, unwillingness to put his body on the line. So one of that steal where he's at the top of the key and reaches to the middle there, that's a great steal. Obviously, him in transition is outstanding. So to me, I look at this guy and I say, okay, VW needs to learn how to get fouled the way that Austin Reeves learned how to get fouled last year. Austin Reeves went through this thing where he learned how to play the game the way James Harden was playing it, in the paint and at the rim. So he was regularly getting fouled, consistently getting fouled and getting to the line. And I think if Victor Wembanyama does that, he's going to have a lot more opportunity to play the game in different ways. But the point remains, his offensive game is not going to be an issue. He will be effective that way.
Yeah, totally
20 points in, what is he at here, 17 minutes or 19 minutes, I think it was, whatever he had. Yeah, 20 points, 19 minutes. Like, he's fine offensively. The issue is going to be defensively. And my biggest concern is that when we get to the regular season, all teams are going to do is they're going to switch him, and then guys are going to get physical with him. NBA players, even guards who have huge size discrepancy with VW, understand how to play physically, how to get fouled. So on the offensive end, VW has to get better at getting fouled. But on the defensive end, how do you play defense without fouling against starters in the league? Yes, he had some chase down blocks last night after a guy got by you. Totally agree he can do that. But against starters, frontline guys, how is he staying in the game? That's my question.
Yeah, and I think both these guys. If you look at Victor Wembanyama, if you look at Chet Holmgren, I think Victor is going to have to show he can do that in the long term. I have no doubt about Chet, and I'm probably too far in on Chet. I love it. I think the guy is going to absolutely murder people. And I think when you look at his physical build, he's just a different physical player than he was a year ago. He is a completely different player. And I think when you look at SGA, Williams, you look at the way that team's built, dude, it is going to be very difficult to deal with OKC.
Yeah.
But you brought up AR-15, Austin Reeves. Now that's a dude that's ready to rock and roll. I think, and I know, oh man, Texas is back. Well, so are the Lakers. And Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves seem to be awfully chummy.
After the street clothes Davis.
And that roster, and I'm going to say the words that nobody wants to hear me say, If they can stay healthy, the Lakers are going to be a top 7 team in the West.
So when Anthony Davis only plays 40 games, because you know that's going to happen.
That's not going to. He's going to play 82 games. And he'll play 35 minutes a night, 82 games. It's going to be amazing.
Right.
It'll be the single greatest thing we've ever seen.
Right.
I agree. He's probably going to play 55, 60 games. But I would also remind you that they have Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura is still on that team, Christian Wood, Cam Reddish.
Rob Pelinka deserves a lot of credit for adding depth to this team.
Jackson Hayes.
He's absolutely, positively, brought in insurance policies for Anthony Davis. This team has more ways to win ball games now when Anthony Davis isn't playing, and I think that's ultimately what Rob Pelinka needed to do this offseason. You didn't need to make any splash acquisitions. You just needed to go out and elongate that bench, because if you do that and you give Darvin more ways to win a game and you give LeBron more guys who can make a three, you're going to win probably 8 to 10 more games this year than you did last year without Anthony Davis.
I agree. I think when you look at the Suns and you look at the Western Conference, I think that's a team you have to be excited about. You look at Devin Booker. I think Book and KD with and again, Brad Beal is a guy that I think there's a lot of unknowns about.
But a point to prove.
And you look at the way they played in game 1, they've got the Nuggets tonight. I think every game they play together is going to be huge. I look at the Utah Jazz. Like, one of my biggest questions about the Jazz is who's their starting 5. And Jazz fans were freaking out the other night on Twitter and in our members-only group about, where's Jordan Clarkson? Oh, my God. It's game 1 of the preseason. Are we really concerned? And I would not be surprised if Jordan Clarkson did not start at 2 guard for the Jazz. Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised by that at all. Because, again, I think he's going to get moved. There's no question about that. He is going to get moved. And is Jordan Clarkson starting for the Jazz what's best for the Jazz?
No.
I don't think it is.
No.
I really don't think it is. And it's game 1 of the preseason, right? We have to let that play out. But you look at Colin Sexton. I thought Colin Sexton looked great the other night. Watching him run up and down, he looks good. Markkanen looks good. Like, I'm excited to see how Keontae George bounces back tonight, because he did not have a good night shooting in game 1. But Ochai, I think Talon Horton-Tucker's got a real chance to start for this team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's a long-term part of it. I don't. Taylor Hendricks, I need more. Every single game, I need more and more and more. But are the Jazz a top 5 team? They're not.
No.
They're a play-in bottom of the Western Conference playoff positions kind of team.
Yeah, but they're a team that, if they stay healthy, they could make their way through the play-in to get into a series, though, I think. I think they're better.
I would agree.
Better this year, but not a straight-up playoff team.
And I think they'll out-athlete some guys.
Yeah.
Right? But you look at who's part of it and who's not. I just don't think Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton and THT, I don't think those are long-term pieces here. You don't have the, I don't know, if you look at younger teams that have grown, like, again, OKC, like, you don't have the depth that an Oklahoma City has, and you look at what they've built, and you look at SGA and obviously Josh Giddey, and Luguentz Dort is not part of the long-term fit on that roster. He's not going to be, right? I mean, you have I think Isaiah Joe's going to earn a lot of time. I don't know how do you go about keeping him off the floor for a guy that's 24 years old and somebody that I think is going to be a real difficult guy to keep off the floor? I'm not going to keep playing Luguentz Dort, and unfortunately they paid him an extravagant amount of money, but he's not a long-term part of that team. Yeah. Every young, growing, emerging team, and I would actually put OKC a cut above that, because I think they have a chance now to be a top 5 team in the West. Mm-hmm. But every young emerging team has that guy that's not that guy or guys who's not part of it.
Right, of course.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how all that shakes out. But I think this has been one of the better preseasons. Like, I need to see a whole lot of Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
Because goddamn, did he look good?
Yes, he did. He looked like a guy that had his energy back. You know, we hadn't. I don't feel like we've seen this kind of Kristaps since he was a Knick, and I think that obviously he was a young guy back then. So I hope he's able to stay healthy, because if he is, I think he brings a tremendous dynamic to that team.
Would be huge.
Yeah,
would be huge. But I don't know. I think there's a lot. What are you guys looking for in the NBA? What are you looking for in the preseason? Kevin the Destroyer, go Thunder.
Yeah.
I like it. Jeff Woodworth says Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
Victor's the way.
Why would you say something like that, man? I mean, he deserves your respect.
Right.
Victor Wembanyama is. Never mind. You all know. Johnny Gonzalez, Gonzaga's own Chet Holmgren.
Gonzaga.
You guys
I like Gonzaga.
You're trying to get us in trouble. Chet Holmgren signed Jake.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Program.
But Chet Holmgren's a good player. Jeff Woodward, Chet Holmgren better than Mike Holmgren. I don't know. Mike's got a hell of a three-point shot.
Mike.
You know. James, Victor from San Antonio should be 4, not 5. Put a larger dude in there as a center and let Victor be outside where he can shoot from 3.
Yeah.
He's going to have to build his body to do that. He will. It's Pee Bottle Tuesday? No, it's not. There's not a chance in the world. I'm not doing it. Well, Anthony Davis won't play a full season, so there's that.
Yeah.
Okay. He will play less than 50 games.
I think that's the over-under, honestly. 50, in my opinion, is the over-under.
Bob Smith, Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
Jeff Woodworth, Victor Wembanyama's security guard broke Britney. Okay. This feels aggressive now. Taylor Smith, what is the goal with the show? How many followers of our show? A million?
As many as possible.
Yeah, I don't know that we
50,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's our only goal. It's 50,000 by the end of the year. Why? What makes you ask? Conference Commissioner Salty Drunk. Monty, I get you have a love affair with AR-15 and the Lakers. But in all honesty, who do you think is more important to their respective team, Giddey or AR-15? It's not close. Austin Reeves is integral to the Lakers' success. If he gets hurt, if he's not there, why do you think they paid him?
Yeah, and I think for OKC, it's not Giddey. I think he's a supplemental player to their success. I think it's SGA and Chet. I think those two guys are going to power your offense, and then I think Giddey's that guy that comes off the wing, 2 to 3 out of every 5 possessions, 7 possessions, and gets you one. But
what do you have in Case and Wallace? What do you have in? I mean, obviously, Jalen Williams, Kenrick Williams, Isaiah Joe. Like, you have a nice supporting staff. Without SGA and without Chet Holmgren, you don't have a team.
Yeah.
Without LeBron, AD, and AR-15, as you like to call him, without Austin Reeves, you don't have a team.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. He's so integral to their ability to play fast. He's tough. He finishes at the rim. And did you see the shootout he got into the other night? Like, I mean, he can
Yeah, with Cam Thomas.
He can legitimately shoot you to a win. And even if that's his only skill, which it's clearly not, Austin Reeves' ability to shoot the 3 is unbelievably important to that team.
Yeah, and again, I know we did this all last year, man, and it's nothing personal to you. You like Giddey a lot more than we do, and that's fine. I'm not even saying that Giddey's a bad player.
He's not.
He's a great player for them, but I think Austin Reeves, in terms of importance and necessity, is just a cut above.
And where he plays in the spotlight, there's no pressure to win in OKC.
Yeah.
There is no spotlight. There is no pressure.
Because they're still a young team. I mean, I'm the guy saying that SGA is pushing to be the best shooting guard in the league right now, right? But there's some guy named Steph who's still getting all that love. So SGA is going to be here a long time. That OKC roster needs to continue to grow. But for it to grow, what do we need to see? Well, we need to see Chet play 70 games, 75 games, whatever. Anything over 70, I think, is a huge win for Chet this year.
Totally agree.
Rookie of the year or not, and I agree. I think Chet's going to win the Rookie of the year. But rookie of the year aside, all that matters this year is you make the playoffs and Chet plays 70 games. You do those two things,
Stay healthy.
you're good to go.
Stay healthy. Boss Frog. I'm a big Rockets fan, but not much to discuss there. Oh, contraire. I think when you have Fred VanVleet, Sengun is still there, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Ammon Thompson, stud.
The vision that Ammon Thompson
Dude.
has showed is ridiculous.
Jay Sean Tate can play. Cam Whitmore, I think Cam Whitmore is out to show people that they were wrong about him. I think they're actually going to be massively improved.
And I think when you have a guy like Fred VanVleet leading your offense, you're going to be a lot more organized. You are going to run offense. You're not just going to run the ball up the floor. And obviously, the drama has been put aside in Houston. So I just think you're in a much better place there.
Kevin the Destroyer, Bally Sports sucks. Well, but I think there's a lot changing there. I wouldn't say that Bally Sports sucks. I think Bally Sports is going through a tremendously difficult period.
Yeah.
And they're losing so many. Every NBA, NFL, every local team, or every team's going to be local outside of the NFL. And I think it's in baseball, certainly in the NBA. I think the NHL. Washington announced a deal today for the Mystics, Capitals, and Wiz. MSG has a deal with the Knicks.
Yeah.
What, Knicks and Islanders, I think it is?
I believe the
Knicks and Rangers. What am I talking about?
I think the Devils
Knicks and
are part of
Rangers.
that too, though.
I don't think they are. Knicks and
No?
Rangers, no, because no. At Madison Square Garden. Hello, Madison Square Garden is Knicks and Rangers. But you look at the models now. You look at Phoenix. I mean, it's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time. The Jazz have it now.
Yeah, so the
Coyotes.
The MSG deal was the first one that really rolled out, and I think they did it right just because of the regionality.
Who are the three teams?
It's
Knicks,
four
Rangers.
teams. It's Knicks, Rangers, Islanders, Devils, and Sabres. 5 teams. My apologies. 5 teams.
Really?
Yeah, because again, it's not the building. It's MSG Network,
Right.
which carries all of them.
Which Jimmy Dolan,
Yeah.
who owns the Knicks and Rangers, owns MSG.
Yeah. So, but my point with that is just that, hey, you're seeing like the Golden Knights do this. Obviously, like you just said, Washington. Like you're going to see all these teams. The Jazz did it. All these teams are going to roll out a package that says, hey, pay this much and you get every game. It's that simple.
Who did? Oh, the Coyotes.
The
just
Coyotes
did it with
just did
Script
it.
Sports.
Yes.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's not that Bally Sports sucks, dude. The industry fell out from underneath them. The days of teams, reaping huge rights fees from regional cable networks are over. That's done. It's over. You just can't sustain it. You can't sustain it.
Yeah.
Van Vliet and Brooks need to live up to their contracts, and you're right. They desperately need a big.
100%.
Sengun can play. I'm telling you, Sengun
But
can
he's
play.
that hybrid forward. He's that guy that's quicker than he is big. And I think that obviously they're going to play fast, but their biggest thing is not even, they need a big, but that's pretty low on the priority thing, honestly.
Jabari Smith, Jock Lawndale. They have those guys who play the right kind of basketball in the NBA at the 5 now.
Yeah, and Jock did good work in Phoenix. Absolutely.
The difference is you can't have how many, what did DeAndre Ayton call himself?
Dominating.
How many guys like he's not dominating.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be able to play defense and offense. And anymore, unless you can shoot the 3 at the 5, Karl Anthony Towns, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis. If you look at Denver, they might be the best example of this.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Nikola Jokic is the MVP of the league multiple times now, by some people's account, even last year, because he doesn't play a traditional 5. Rudy Gobert is a complete bust in one of the worst contracts in the history of the NBA for a reason.
Yeah.
He can't play that way. And I think Alperen Sengun can really play.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see that. I can't believe I am saying this. I agree with Kevin, an OU fan. Bally Sports sucks. MLB needs to make a deal with YouTube TV. Simply a matter of time.
Yeah.
Simply a matter of time. It's fair. Any speculation on Kansas's punishment tomorrow? I think Bill Self's in real trouble.